Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka Man of the People. Why? Because I love working for you. So please, fans, questions that you may have, let me know. For me, for the players, for the coaches, and I will do my best to get those questions answered for you. Also, want to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you have never done so. Please help us grow. The more we grow, the more that we can do, I can do for you all. Today I had an interview with Coach Steve Wilkes, which you're going to see up soon. And trust me, more subscribers, it helps a lot. And if you've already subscribed, just go ahead and hit that like button. It helps other Carolina Panthers fans find out about me. And last but not least, though this video is not live, I had to go record it for a reason of technicalities, but hopefully you enjoyed this really clear video. But hit that bell notification. That way when I do go live, which is 90% of my broadcast, give fans a chance to ask me questions directly and me answer them back instead of me just blah, 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 okay? Let's go ahead and get into it today. I forget what day it is, maybe day 7 of training camp here in Spartanburg. And it was a hot one, as they have been for me quite a bit, but it was a good one. Today I had the objective to focus on Brady Christensen. Why? Because you guys have asked me to, and I work for you, right? Also on the defensive line, I was going to focus on, or I did focus on, Yetur Gross-Matos and Marquis Haynes. So it was a little challenging because they continue with when training camp is in place. It's much more difficult to watch than after the 53-man roster is cut down to see how guys are performing, because they do so many different things where they're trying to test whether it's plays, whether it's schemes, whether it's some particular skill set that they're wanting to work on. But I did that today, and just in my observations, I noticed that Marquis Haynes had most of the snaps at the other end opposite of Brian Burns. Now, I will not say 100% that Yetur Gross didn't get any reps. I just happened to miss him, and that could happen and very easily happen when I'm just one person trying to watch one guy where there's, I don't know, 80, 90 guys out there, because I was taking turns between watching the defensive line and then the offensive line. But the plays that I saw Marquis out there, he looked pretty respectable. No great things, no bad things. Just looked pretty respectable. Now, on the other side was Brady Christensen. And Brady, when I was seeing Brady, he actually had a lot of reps where he would come out and other people would come in. And one of the times that happened, the first was going to say, well, what are they doing here? But it was P.J. Walker that was leading the team drills. And on one field, the field closest to me at that time. On the other field, you had the quarterbacks along with wide receivers and defensive backs doing some drills, right? So I'm going to talk about that, what I observed on that side. But again, just want to give an explanation for sometimes why I'm trying to get you all information, more further analysis, but sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge. But here's what I do have that's great. We're just going to skip the format a little bit, and we're going to skip right to some player interviews, because Brian Burns talked about Brady Christensen. He talked about Marquis Haynes, and he also talked about Yetur Gross-Matos. So I'm going to go ahead and share this all with you. Let's first have Brian Burns here talking about Brady
improved a lot. The same thing I'm pretty much telling you about Icky. Brady's first year is just being patient. You know what I'm saying? With guys like myself, like elusive guys, you got to be patient. You can't really jump the gun, because that's when we make you miss. You know what I mean? So Brady has taken tremendous strides from last year to now, just along with his balance and his patience.
All right, so that was Brian Burns on Brady Christensen, saying that he's making a tremendous leap. Now, one thing I did see, it was really 2 plays that I got to watch Brady in action. On one play, it seemed like he was trying to help his teammate out. He didn't have anybody lined up over top of him, and he was trying to help with pass protection, and he didn't really stay on that block. Man, these flies got me today. He didn't really stay on that block very well, and the guy got through to me a little earlier than he should have, or you'd like him to when you're protecting your quarterback. On the next play, it was a run block, and I saw a much better performance out of Brady on that run block that he did in team drills. Now, we're going to proceed. Again, my man Brian Burns hooked us up very well today with some commentary. So here's Brian Burns on both Yetur and Marquis Haynes.
Keith is a dog. Keith is a true dog, and he really be giving a lot of linemen fits. But Keith has always been good. Since my rookie year coming in, I always seen Keith ball out. Yetur is making strides as well. I would just say from a standpoint of improvement for them two, it's basically we're all working on our IQ. So as far as knowing where the slide is, or just taking our game to another level so we can see what's coming before it actually happens. And I think that's the main thing we're focused on right now with those two.
So there you go. Brian Burns helping me out a lot today with my reporting, giving you all some good information on several of these players that I was going to focus on today. And with the help of Brian Burns, get to share that information with you. And then we had a bonus. You know, was not on my list, but Brian Burns was giving us all the good information today. So what about first-round draft pick Icky Woods? You know, I'm hearing out there, it seems like some people are appreciating that coach is letting them earn it, and some people aren't appreciating that coach is letting him earn it. But where exactly is Icky in his development? Brian Burns again, this time on Icky.
Icky getting better. He getting a lot better, actually. Once again, like I said, Icky has the mentality and the dog, you know what I'm saying, to really take it to you. But sometimes you got to know when just to dial it back and be a little more patient, especially with guys like me, Marquis, guys that's going to try to get you off balance. Icky's really strong, you feel what I'm saying? So he really trying to put that strength on anybody, but we just trying to teach him to be a little more patient, like you got it type of deal.
So certainly some skills there that Brian Burns talked about with all these guys having physical attributes. Some of these guys need to learn the patience, such as the Brady Christensen, Gross-Matos, and Marquis Haynes, been gifted. Icky Woodson, hey, he's a strong guy, which that's one of the things that was talked about in tape that you saw with him coming from college. Like, this guy is strong. This guy can move a person. But, you know, sometimes before you get all those skill sets together at the next level, people at this level know how to take that strength that you have and expose other weaknesses that you might be a little too premature as you go to use all of your strength. You got to be a little bit more agile in the NFL along with that strength. So I'm sure Icky's going to continue to work on that. Christian McCaffrey video. Well, I didn't get a chance to post video, but it was funny. I poked fun of Christian because most guys will walk up to the podium for the media after practice. Not good old Christian McCaffrey. He got to ride all the way right up to the podium and say, hey, you know, you got to keep trying to save those legs. So Christian McCaffrey, he's been rested. He's had a chance to continue to soak in this Ben McAdoo offense. So we got his comments on just both of those two topics right there.
Yeah, there's impressions every day. We just take it one day at a time. There's some good, there's some bad, there's some stuff that we're doing really well, some stuff we got to work on. I think the word for me that I'm trying to do myself is just be consistent every day. Yeah, I never compare offenses to offenses, but with Coach McAdoo, he has such a plethora of knowledge. He's coached so many positions, and so he has a great understanding for the game. And, I'm also not a coordinator evaluator. I play running back. So for me, I just try to be in the right spot all the time, be consistent, be reliable, make dudes miss in the open field, no matter what the play call is, no matter where we are on the field. I just got to do my job at a high level. But, every time he talks, everybody shuts up and listens because, he has so much knowledge.
So that was Christian McCaffrey talking about a little bit of his observations so far from training camp, as well as his current impressions of Ben McAdoo's. And I think that's pretty, powerful when you hear Christian say, hey, when that guy talks, everybody shuts up and listens. It sounds like that's an immediate thing that happens, which is good. So I like on the offensive side, I'm hearing some praise for Ben McAdoo and his offense. I love on the defensive side, a new addition there. Steve Wilkes has been very highly talked about on this defense. So when you go to evaluate Matt Rule and you wonder what this season is going to be, one thing that I feel like I can say is that he did the right thing by getting some more experienced pieces around him. And those new pieces that are in here are being very highly praised. And I think that has to lead to some optimism for how well this season could be. Not how well it will be, but just how well it could be. You always want to go into the season with some optimism. And I feel a great amount of that this year for this Carolina Panthers team. Now, let me reverse back, because usually at the beginning of the show, I'll tell you about some observations from practice. And today, one of the things I noticed, we had a really, really good crowd. I didn't get a chance to talk with the PR team and ask if this was the best crowd, but it was a very good Friday crowd here down in Spartanburg. And I think I can have a picture to share with you about this crowd out here. Boom. There you go. That was my vantage point there. Again, that is a very good crowd for here in Spartanburg. Other things before practice, and I think this was probably just Brian Burns. I forgot to ask him, but at the beginning of practice, he's off to the side doing some really good drills, just working with hand. The battle that these guys have as defensive end, trying to get around, get through guys. Tried to get video of it, but when I went to get the video, he was done with it. But Brian Burns did work out a little bit off to the side. No doubt when it came time for team drills, he was right in there. He was not off to the side doing anything. He was in those drills taking on this offensive line. And then shouts out to Saquon. Saquon is a gentleman that I met today. Every time I've come down to training camp, it's been spectacular meeting people. There's also a picture on Twitter where I got to meet another lady that she was like this tall when I first met her. Now she's up to here. Miss Pope, great to see you and your family. But Saquon, happy belated birthday. He celebrated a birthday just yesterday. He says he tunes in and watches the channel. So Saquon, I appreciate you very, very much. Hope you're watching right now, as a matter of fact. And then they also had Gaffney High School come out and join them. Well, they did as much as they could interacting with Gaffney High School practice. So they have 3 practice fields. Several times throughout practice today, they were on the same field doing some things. And then actually during the middle of practice for the Carolina Panthers, they took a break, went over there for 10 minutes, watched those guys scrimmage. DJ Moore said he loved it. Nothing like a 10-minute break in this hot heat down here. So he really appreciated it. But really, all these guys said this is great. Christian McCaffrey said that he thinks some of the purest football is high school football. And it was such a joy, especially to watch that running back go and score a touchdown while they were out there. We also had a number of cornerbacks that were out today. We had J.C. Horn, Keith Taylor, Duke Dawson. None of those guys participated in practice today. And then on the offensive side, we had guard Austin Corbett taking a little bit of a vet day, not out there at practice today as well. Did get a little bit of action that I could report on in addition to the focus that I had today with Brady Christensen, Marquis, and Yetur, both the defensive end that be looking to place the production that we lost for Hassan Reddick. There was a nice, now again, I want to set up my vantage point. You know, most of the action was going on there on the near field to the hill if you've been down here in Spartanburg. And then on the far side, furthest away from the fans, was some quarterback drills going on with the wide receivers and the defensive backs. Your boy had his binoculars, so I was able to see all the way over there. And there was some good stuff going on. I saw a very nice connection from Sam Darnold to Rashard Higgins in drills. And it was a nice deep ball that he was able to get on the back shoulder. I'd say 35, 40 yards down the field. Really, really good, nice looking pass and catch by Rashard Higgins. And then later on, there was a pass from Matt Corral to Keith Kirkwood on Darius Bradwell. And this pass, beautiful release, as everybody's talked about with Matt Corral. The great thing that I loved about this was the concentration and focus by Keith Kirkwood. He went up for the ball like this. They're going down the field, and the ball kind of gets bobbled with the defender trying to knock it away from it. But Keith still maintains the ball, catches it right before they hit the ground, holds the ball up, and maintains the catch. Really, really good play. But again, I do want to say I like to keep things in perspective. I want you guys to know about these things. This was drills. So a lot of the quarterbacks look good today, every last one of them. But I go to look more, and Coach Rule talked about this today. The better quarterbacks, the great quarterbacks, I mean, 7-on-7, that's good. You're working on a specific skill. But the quarterbacks that perform in the red zone, that's when things are critical. That's when you're going to win or lose a game a lot of times. This as well as the 2-minute drill. That's a critical point. You do that at the first half. You do that at the second half, potentially, right? If you got the ball, got a chance to win. So those are the things that I'll get more excited about from Sam, from Matt, or any of these quarterbacks when they're performing well, when there's a team environment and you have some real pressure on you. Let's see. Anything else? Got two more notes before we get out of here. One of these notes is, I know there's some Rambo fans out there because he has a cool name, right? Charleston Rambo, number 85. He had a drop today that was absolutely terrible. I hate to see that for any guy that's trying to make this team. It's a journey in this NFL. You know, we all think about the Christian McCaffreys, DJ Moores, and those guys, but there's so many of these guys that are going through, man, a lot of rigor, a lot of sacrifice for the opportunity to make it into the big leagues. And when you see a drop like that, you just go, oh man, that's not going to help you much, because here at this pro level, as a receiver, you have to catch the ball. And the play was this. I believe it was Baker. I'm trying to see if I wrote down my notes. Yes, it was Baker Mayfield that had the ball. Somewhat of a busted play because he had scrambled for a little bit and everything was kind of slowing down. Just heaved the ball up down the field a good amount and plenty of air underneath the ball. Defender was not heavily on Rambo at the time. Caught it and then dropped it before it hit the ground. So again, hate to see that, but the observation I want to point out, because I know there's lots of people cheering for everybody on this team. And then Ian Thomas had a catch and then a nice punch out by Damian Wilson. I didn't like seeing that because I feel like I have seen a few times where Ian's gotten balls knocked out of his hand, you know, some things there. Now, I know we don't have Ian Thomas on our team and in that first position because of his hands, but when you see him make the catch, that means, okay, we're making some progression with these hands. Let's secure the ball. Let's continue to maximize these opportunities that you may get, because we're not going to be throwing to Ian Thomas a lot, but you certainly want to have some confidence when you do throw to him. So, Ian Thomas, please continue to work on that. You know I love you. All right. That's going to be it for today. We're going to continue to report on this Carolina Panthers team every day that there's a training camp. I'm behind on some comments, all right? I love your comments. I work for the fans, so please continue to leave those comments. I will get back to them. I don't know the name, but somebody recently said they just joined the channel. They love the unbiased content. Hey, I appreciate the comments so much, so much, so much. And again, continue to say hello to me if you're out here. Easy to find. Love to take a picture. Love to just talk, whatever it is that may be the case. Wrapping up by saying what? Man of the people, I work for you to help me continue to do bigger things. Hit that subscribe button. We need to be over 5,000 subscribers before the regular season starts, okay? Please help me do that. Tell a friend. Hit the like button if you've already subscribed. Hit that bell notification if you're already a member, and that way you can interact with me on the live videos. Steve Wilkes, that interview, if you don't see it, click on the channel, the logo. It'll show you all my videos, tons of one-on-one videos, but you'll see Steve Wilkes. That was done this week, and then Cade Mays, 2 interviews. Why? Because you all have supported me, and I'm able to do these things, so I will continue to do everything that I can. Chris Jenkins reporting from Spartanburg, South Carolina for Charlotte Vibe.